Hello, everyone. My name is Hannes Lange, and I'm a customer success manager here at GitLab. And today I would like to show you real quick how you can use GitLab's policies and together with the compliance framework in order to really enforce certain security policies to your whole instance over multiple top-level groups, having one central control group, so to say, where everything is in, and where every other top-level group then can participate. For demonstration purposes, I will walk you through the steps. We'll give you some API or GraphQL mutations in order to fully get things up to speed. And we'll give you a short overview about how this can be done and achieved. So for that, let me share my screen real fast. Okay, there we go. Let's move this out of the way. Okay. As said, the idea is to have one single top-level group containing every policy and compliance framework within it, and other top-level groups then can simply refer to that particular group and or policies. So for demonstration purpose, let's create a group. Let's call them, I don't know, security tools, like that. Create that group. Here we go. And within that group, we're gonna first start with the compliance framework. And to create this, we head over to Secure Compliance Center, and there's the compliance frameworks tab here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new framework. I would say let's call it something like default security. Like that. Pick a nice color. It doesn't matter if you set it to default or not. That's just at the framework as of now. And we're gonna have a framework. Fantastic. Default security with no associated projects so far. However, we're gonna change that in a second. But first, let's create a policy which we will apply to some demonstration projects within other top-level groups. For demonstration purpose, I would select one scan execution policy. So scan policy, which we leave as enabled. We're going to apply this policy. Now comes the tricky part, to projects within a compliance framework. So that's that angle. We're going to select our default security framework here. And we're going to say, okay, as actions, we will use, let's take to secret detection. I guess that's the first good candidate. We're going to leave the runner tags automatically selected. Of course, you can have your own runner tags specified here in case you want to have custom runners which you want to use for your job executions for your policies. Okay, that part here, conditions, is when that policy will be triggered or when will that occur. So every time a pipeline runs for a certain protected branch, all protected branches, default or all branches, would say let's stay with the protected branches is maybe a good idea. By the way, if you want to decouple everything from the existing workflow and you don't want to interrupt the pipelines of your other top-level groups, what you can also do is you can use scheduled pipelines. This will then be totally independent of the existing GitLab CI/CD file. So schedules for a certain branch, again, let's stay to all protected branches with no exceptions, daily around, I don't know, 8 o'clock in the evening in Berlin time. That's what you could configure. But for the sake of demonstration, let's stick to triggers because I want to show you how this is working. And there we go. On the right-hand side, you may have seen already a YAML preview. And what that YAML preview means is by configuring everything here inside of the UI, there will be a YAML file being generated in the background, which will then be merged into a single so-called security policy project. So that's what we're going to do now. We configure everything. And now in the background, there we go, is a security policy project being created. Within that, we have now a merge request, which exactly gets that generated YAML into a special file called policy.yaml, which will then be taken and referenced to from the actual execution part. So it's within .gitlab security policies policy.yaml. That's important to know that everything inside of that security policy project refers um, to that policies, right, within that top level group. Okay, here's some explanation of how this project is working. And that was basically it from a manual setup perspective, so to say. So now we're going to dive into some automation, I would say. So how to actively connect the dots here. So how to set the security policy project for another project, and um, how to apply the compliance framework to a project. So 2 steps in the API. First of all, we're gonna assign the policy project, which we just created here automatically, to another random project. And in order to do so, I'm gonna delete this one here and get rid of that. That was a test instance only. Okay, so what this mutation now is doing, it accepts the full path of the random other top level group domain, top level group namespace, and the security policy project ID, which is the project we just created automatically. So in security tools, we have now the security policy project, again, created 2 minutes ago. What we need is the ID of that. We paste it inside this one here. So just FYI, and we're gonna select another random group. Let's go with the Team Germany. And what we will do is, we don't need the ID, we need the path here. So Team Germany, Project Oktoberfest is the full path of the project. We're gonna hit play, and there we go. That was actually it. And another thing, we can now verify this one. If we head over to secure policies, you could also do this in the UI, of course. But here we are. The security tools, security policy project is now linked to that project here, because every project can have a policy project assigned to it. Now, the next thing to do is to get, first of all, the ID of that. Oh, let's prepare the mutation first. Let's get rid of that. And we will get rid of that one here. Okay, the project Oktoberfest has the ID 3070. Groups and security tools. Here we have our compliance center and our framework, which also has an ID. So we copy the ID 108 in that case, and we're gonna paste that one in here. Okay, so what this query now, or what this mutation is doing, it connects the project with the framework accordingly. So we hit play now, and on the page here, we now, or in the target team Germany, we now see in the project Oktoberfest that there is indeed a default security compliance framework applied, which is the one what we had in the, so here 108 is the ID, but this is centrally configured on the security tools group. So here we go. As said, we have that everything set up. So within secure policies, let's double check. There's one project which has a compliance framework assigned to it. And yes, that's the German project. So in order to verify this, if everything is working, let's just head over to groups again, get into the German project, Oktoberfest. And I've set up a basic GitLab CI CD file here. So 3 stages, the build job, unit test, linting, and deploy job. Standard, I would say, just for demonstration purposes. Have that in mind. There is no secret detection in here. But if we now run a pipeline, so build pipelines against our protected branch, remember that's would be triggering the according policy. Here we are. We now see the secret detection being applied. So we can confirm that our policy is working. And now, if we want to scale this up, we can simply rinse and repeat these two APIs, which we just used here. So for demonstration purposes, I prepared another group. So the Team US, Project Starbase, again, has no security framework assigned to it, a compliance framework. So what we'll do is we rinse and repeat these steps. We copy, first of all, the ID, and we assign it to the very same compliance framework. So if we hit refresh now, that one appears here. We, of course, have to link the security policy project again. So let's remove that. And now we take the Team US and assign it accordingly to the security policy project. Hit play here. So these two steps can be really pretty much automated. So and scaled to a certain amount of projects we want to tackle. Unfortunately, this must be on project level. Otherwise, yeah, you cannot simply take other top level groups and repeat the same for group level, and it won't be that easy to have that replicated down to recursively to every project. So you have to do this on project base. Nevertheless, you end up basically with a compliance framework which gives you control of how your organization, how your top level groups are being um, yeah, secured, so to say, using that policies. And now, to verify that also Project Starbase has the secret detection now enabled, what we can showcase here Also here, create a pipeline. And we expect the secret detection job. Now, if we want to really scale things up, let's say you have now, let's say 80% of your projects are having that default compliance framework assigned. Everything looks good. You then want to scale up the scanning, and what you simply do is you do not touch every project again. What the only thing you now need to change is within your security tools, you change your policy, so the scan policy, you edit it accordingly, and what you can do is you can add a new action so that not only secret detection is being done, but let's say also SAST scanning. Why not? Here the same applies. Basically, um, what I didn't mention is you can add certain CI variables. For instance, in SAST, it makes sense to use that GitLab Advanced SAST enabled. So if you are happen to be on Ultimate, you can enable that Advanced SAST. We're going to set this to true. Come on, true. As said, that YAML preview will be constructed in the background, and you can configure this again with a merge request. Let's adjust the change or take a look at the changes. So there's just another action within that policy now, which says, hey, scan for SAST, use this and that variables within your pipelines, and there you go. So let's merge this in. And here we are. So what can you do with the results, basically? Within your groups, within Team Germany, there's now a vulnerability report. Let's say, hey, as of now, there is none, of course, because there was no secret being detected. But vulnerabilities would have been here. Maybe I can take another project which actually has some content in it. Give me a second. Groups, maybe somewhere in here. No, that's just a dummy test. Yeah, maybe I can do this in another series of having real results then. But actually, what I wanted to show is that now, if we as we triggered or as we configured the policy accordingly, that now also SAST scanning happens. Let's verify that one was working. So trigger another pipeline for Germany. And now we should expect, or we expect that 6 jobs are running, not only secret detection, but also GitLab Advanced SAST. Advanced SAST because we took the according variable and set it to true. And now this applies basically automatically to all the projects having that compliance framework assigned. And this is how you can, mass enable your instance with according security jobs. I would say thank you very much. And in the next session, I'm gonna give it a little more details about the actual findings and how you can actively see and the vulnerabilities which are being detected then by advanced SAST, because as of now there are no vulnerabilities. But we'll see in another session. Again, thanks very much for watching and see you next time.